Hello and welcome to another Camels Hump Middle School Design Tech video tutorial. In today's episode we're going to be taking an introductory look at the RDWorks V8 software. This is the graphic design software that helps us produce laser engraved and laser cut objects in our new machine. So first thing we need to do is open the program. The program is the one that looks like a red and white square on your desktop, RDWorks V8. Okay, find it and double click on it. Okay, once we've got it open and the big banner goes away, a couple initial things that I want to talk to you about on this screen. Okay, this graph paper that you're looking at right in the middle with a thick black line around it, that is your work area. It is yours and yours alone, and the important piece about that is that the thick black line represents the edge of your project. And so say, for example, you're doing a cutting board. Your cutting board has dimensions, and we need to make sure that the dimensions of your cutting board are represented accurately in this software. Now, if you need to pause your video and go do this, go ahead, but you need to get the dimensions of your cutting board, the X and the Y, length and width. Tape measures are in the shop, and we're going to need those measurements in millimeters. So scratch paper, tape measure, go grab those two numbers. Great, welcome back. Let's enter in our dimensions for our cutting board so that our work area represents our actual project. Okay, so with those two numbers that you've just collected, come up to Config. You're going to click Page Setting. And right here for page width and page height, you're going to enter in your two numbers. Now, if your cutting board is a square, these are going to be the same. But if it's a rectangle, it's your choice whether or not you want to set this up portrait style or landscape style. By that I mean, you know, tall and thin or wide and thin. So, and we can change these numbers as we evolve our designs. But what we do need is this outer perimeter to represent our actual project. So I'm just going to leave mine at 190 and 150. Yours may be different. Excellent. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is talk about the mouse controls on this program. Okay, zooming in uses the scroll wheel on the mouse. Go ahead and play with that. Okay, the one critical thing about zooming on this program is that you are going to zoom in and out of wherever your mouse is pointing. So for example, if I'm pointing at the green square, I'm going to zoom into that corner. If I'm pointing right here, I'm zooming in there. You may find at times that you've zoomed in on something that you didn't mean to and you're wondering where your design went. Just zoom out, point where you want to go, and zoom in. Secondly, with the mouse controls, the scrolling wheel is also a button. If you push it and drag left and right, you're going to pan left and right. Okay? Right-clicking doesn't do anything in this program, and left-clicking is how we're going to actually choose tools to use and move objects around once they're in our design. So just to recap, so far we have covered sizing our work area and mouse controls. Okay? Next thing I want to do, because it's a good habit to get into, is I want to save our work before we go any further. Okay? So I'm going to come up here to File. I'm going to come down to Save As. Okay? The drop-down menu right here should indicate where we're going to save our work. Now for staff cutting boards, this is what we want to see. If you don't see that, drop this menu down. Got lots of options here. Come down to the folder called Students. Click that. Click on Design Tech. Staff Cutting Boards is waiting for you right here. Okay, so we're going to open that up, and I'm going to type this in as test. Okay, click Save. You'll see it up here in the upper left corner that your saved work now has a name. Okay, great, that's taken care of. Okay, the last thing I want to cover in this tutorial is introducing text into our design. Some of you might be doing images as well. I'm going to cover that in a separate tutorial. Okay, text tool is right here on the left, lowercase f, big I. I'm going to left click on it. I'm going to drag my tool out here and I'm going to click wherever I want that text to show up. We can move it later. Okay, so don't worry if you click in the wrong spot. So let's say hello world. Okay, so that's my text that I want to introduce. Now, two ways that text conveys a message. Obviously, there's the actual text. What does it say? Okay, then there's also font choice. Font choice is huge in graphic design. Font choice has as much to do with your design as the words themselves. So once we've gone through the menu of our fonts and we've considered, what kind of impact we want our text to have, we can click OK. And here comes our text. Now, check it out. I'm going to zoom in with my arrow pointing where I want it to. You'll notice that some boxes have appeared around my word. There's an X in the middle of it. And if I click anywhere else, they disappear. Okay, so when I click on it, that means it's selected. When I click away, it's not. All right. This blue X in the middle, I can use to move my words around. Just as you'd suspect, the boxes in the corner I can use to stretch things out. Okay. A couple tools I want to show you while my text is selected. I can use these tools up here to locate either in the top left, top right, bottom, corners, or dead center. I can also manipulate the location of my word with the arrows on the keyboard. It's kind of a fine-tuning measure that I like to do. Okay. There's no right or wrong location for text or images or anything, but I would strongly suggest staying within about a ½ inch from the edge. Don't bump it all the way out to the edge. When we finish our cutting boards, we're going to be using a tool to round over the edges, and if our engraving is out at the edges, we're going to chop some of it off. So keep it inboard just a little bit. Okay, so that's your text tool. That's how to save work and how to size your work area. That's going to do it for this tutorial. Images will be covered in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.